Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. I hope whoever is watching this is fine. So where I am right now, it's Friday, October 16th, 2020. Um, Hijri calendar, I'm not sure. Safar maybe 30th, 1442. Okay, so originally I was gonna do a comparison between something kind of heavy, like something medical. But then I decided, why not make today lighter and finally get talking about one of my hobbies, which is stuff about um, fonting, like fonts and stuff. um, not sure if I'm actually gonna get into details because I'm literally in the beginning of this kind of, I don't know what to call it, journey, I guess. um, What if there's anything else I need to get out of the way so I can try to focus on this comparison here? Um, yeah, so I don't know what to say. It's like I said, it's Friday, October 16th. It's not cloudy outside. Um, it's fall, as in the area I'm in. I'm seeing some trees, like some leaves are falling. Um, Something I didn't notice maybe earlier on, like when we first came to Canada, is that um, not all trees like fall, or not all leaves fall. Not all types of leaves fall in fall, especially when like you notice people are growing different things. Like I guess when you drive around or walk around, um, I guess I guess I'm really starting to see the multiculturalism in Canada, or this part in Canada. Um, as in, you know, because people migrate here a lot, so I guess people can grow their own seeds, right? Like they'll bring their own kind of um, things to grow, as opposed to just the type of trees we saw when we first came, and I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, when you first like move to a new area, you feel like you're the new person or you're the intruder or whatever. And then after a while, I think what you start seeing is that, like, people have just kind of cycled in and out of an area. So, you know, um, I guess to someone who would be coming to this area, you know, today, for example, like just moving into, I don't know, Canadian space today, I guess to them, someone who came like years and years ago would be um, considered more local. So maybe being local is kind of a spectrum now, right? Yeah. And also, like, when I was picking out like what I wanted to grow, I was like Okay, should I be growing things that, like I said, I would think of as these are local things that you grow in fall, and also because like fall like leaves fall, so you're like, should I even be growing anything? But then again, there's like pumpkin season, so something's growing, right? Um, so yeah, just leave that there. Just see, I guess whoever's gonna follow this channel someday will see how like I don't know, like you know, things change, I don't know what to say, but like um yeah, okay, I'm gonna just say this now because then I'm gonna get into this like I'm gonna get into this comparison here. Um I listened to a video or like a series a few months ago where this guy was saying like it was like supposedly a course and it was an online course and you get skeptical paying for online courses, but okay, long story short is that even people who say that online courses are you know of no value, but for me historically I've been able to get information from online, like valuable information from online material. But I think now like not getting value from online courses comes from the fact that the person who is teaching you this material is not right in front of you. So it will always be more difficult to imagine how to like learn the material, right? As opposed to someone who's standing right in front of you and you can literally mimic what they're doing, right? So I think that's why people get frustrated from online learning, right? Um, that's one reason. And however, like um, if you can combine both, like if you can get what you need from online, why not? Just okay, I'll just say this like basically like know who you're listening to, right? Like if the person is quoting other people, if they're able to put the names of the people they're quoting, then you know you're not just listening to a child, right? Or listening to someone who's not um referencing or whatever. And or like honestly, because on YouTube you do see like younger people sometimes. And if they're in the video, like if that younger person's in the video, then you're just basically watching the full person, right? So if they say information, you can choose to take it or not take it or whatever. But um I feel like voiceovers, like that's annoying. That's annoying to me. Like when I watch a YouTube video where you can't really see who's filming and then you don't yeah, so that's what bugs me, right? Like is someone who is filming and then there's a voice and then sometimes there's like a lot of cameras. These things like this kind of learning, that's where you can't really follow exactly what the lesson is from these you know different contributions. It's kind of like just like listening to a presentation in class, right? When there's different people presenting and they're not all aligned, then you don't really get the full picture, right? You have to go figure out the rest of the picture. And I'm definitely guilty of that before, like because I went to school here, like very locally, like where I'm recording this from. And because it was close to like you know the community or whatever. I wasn't always 100% present in like university classes and stuff. Okay, I'm done with like random introduction, but now let's get into this, right? Because I've been wanting to do this for so long. And like honestly, with this kind of hobby, I didn't know if I was forcing myself to like lettering and all of this font stuff, or if I was really into it, right? Because I don't think there's any human who hates art and like pretty things, but um, I don't know. Like to me, painting and drawing and stuff, there's no end to that kind of imagination, and so I'm not completely into everything art. It's just too, it gets to a point where it gets too much. And, you know, as you grow, you start understanding that art is the journey, like it's not perfection. Um, you know, I feel like there are some things in life that need perfecting, to be honest, but not everything. Like with, you know, with art, like if you try to make your art perfect, you're it's gonna start becoming a source of stress, right? It's not gonna be your therapeutic stuff anymore. So that's why like like I bought some lettering stuff and whatever, but I was like, I don't know if I want to like what am I doing with this? Am I checking my levels? Am I just playing around with the pen types? Like what am I doing, right? And um when I bought the like when I bought these like what are they called? I'll try to put pictures someday, but I don't know. They're called microline pens. They're just black pens, right? Um when I got them, like I was some of them had normal tips, like tips that you can write with, like scribble with, write with, you know. But some of them had like sharp edges and some had very like um soft edges, and so you know what, that's so cool because as we like rush into things in life and rush even with this kind of like um non-rushy hobby, the pen itself will make you stop, right? Because of the way it's edged. Like that would be something that will like stop you from um, rushing with the pen. Yeah, so like I said, like the tips of the pen itself look like you know, they look like they're like it will stop you, right? And that's these are this is so cool because sometimes as you rush through something and you know you have more like control as a living being, like you have more control over surrounding things that don't have life in them. And unfortunately sometimes, you know, our type of control is more physical than experiential. Like it's more physical than it is correct, right? like like with the pens that I got them because I wanted to use them for the like for the hobby, right? For and because like, I write stuff and we write stuff and I just opened like the pen thing um case, and I'm like using these pens to write my daily notes and journals and whatever else I write for work and life and whatever. And so I was very happy that the pen stopped me. Like the ones that had like different tips. It kind of felt like the person who made it was talking to me saying, uh okay, don't this was not made for like scribbling. So yeah, nice, I like that, you know, punch in the face. um all right, so let's just get into this now. Comparison, and then I will probably end the video there. I got kind of excited now and I'm thinking like to show the pen tips that I got. Who knows? Maybe. Why not? We'll see. Okay, so this I really wanted to know. Like, I wanted to know about these terms, right? Like lettering, um, you know? I mean, at some point I need to know this. I haven't used any of the pens to make a final product yet. Like I said, I've, but I have played around with them and it's lovely. It's beautiful. I love it. Um, it's so cool. I can't describe how like how cool it is to, I don't know. This whole like font stuff is just lovely. Like I like that the art is coming from the from the pen. It's not coming from me. So even when I'm not using it exactly the way it's supposed to be used, I'm something pretty is still coming out, right? Because if even if you look at this image here, the way they wrote lettering, calligraphy, and typography, that's the pen. That's just the way the pen is tipped, right? So that's so cool. So like when you take this further, you have things like um tawabe, right? You have stamps that have drawings in them, and you know they basically um you know you just dip it in ink and you just you know stamp it somewhere and stuff. um so essentially, okay, I need to calm down, but essentially everything in this world is art-ish, or like it's all, you know carbon copies of something, right? But that's why I'm saying like you can go too far with art, and for me I just want to stick to the written word. The written word, right? Like, and there is a saying by the prophet, peace be upon him, where he said, um like there's a few sayings where he said, to not like copy the image images that like Allah created, right? Like to not like draw full creations, yani full pictures of people, of animals, living things and stuff. Um, and obviously there are people who are gonna say like, oh, why? And you Muslims are so, I don't know, you guys are too strict and mean and all that stuff, right? But that's what it is, right? Like you will never perfect that kind of art, right? You're never going to be able to um, create a living thing. Never, ever. The best you can do is to have kids, right? Like reproduce, because that's the only way you'll be able to see. This is the closest you can get to creating a living thing. um, and yeah, I hope, yeah, I hope all of this talk makes some kind of sense. Like, all right, let's finally just look at these definitions and then I will probably end there. So it says lettering is the art of drawing. Interesting. So lettering is just being able to draw, right? Um, Keep in mind also my interest in this has to do with the linguistics background that I have. So this is important for teaching um, language, right? Like whether to kids or adults. There's a part of lettering that is just motor skills. I'm guessing that's what that is, right? Like just being able to hold um, the writing utensil and just making shapes. So that's what that is. I'm guessing that's what lettering is, just shapes. And then calligraphy says calligraphy is the writing of the letters, the art of writing the letters, right? So that's where you form actual letters. Okay? So I'm guessing that one would be where you can actually see the um, letter itself. So the first one would be like while you're actually forming the letter, and then the second one would be you see an actual letter. um, and then the last thing says typography, and that's the art of using letters. I don't know what that means. I wouldn't even with these earlier like definitions, that's what I'm understanding. But for typography, the art of using letters, okay. I'm guessing this is sort of like choosing a font for a purpose. I'm guessing that's what that is, right? Because like the art of using letters, right? Yeah, maybe. Like, um, I think yeah, that's what that is. Like when you look at posters that have, for example, the top line would have like, I don't know, handwriting, and then under it it would have um straight font, you know? So that would be typography, I'm guessing, because that's um using different letters and different styles to send your message. Okay, let's just stop there and not overthink this. And I'm going to see if I can find lettering tips and then like pen tips, and then I'll end there. Lettering. Here we go. I'm looking for a picture on Mr. Google for, okay, here's, yeah, I'm looking for a picture from Mr. Google that would um, show me how the pens are used. Okay, here's one. And switch screen. All right, so that's kind of what I have. Yeah, this is kind of what I have, the tips that I have. This one doesn't really show um, artistic typography. This would just be for uh, stroke type, right? Um, but I don't, like, this picture doesn't show full results of what you would be using it for. The one that's like really like thick in the end here, this one is clear. Like when you use it, like you see what kind of um like you see an actual pretty, like you see the difference in the drawing of the letters. Like it would look really thick on one side and then really thin on another side. Um, but the rest of them, I still don't fully understand. I'm guessing some of them would have just very liney kind of like fonts. Like they would have, yeah, like very straight, um, clean, you know, font with no, you know, fancy squiggly lines. And then the ones that have sharp edges, I wouldn't know what that would look like in the end. And who cares? Who cares? Because, yeah, there's no rush with hobbies. That's the point of a hobby. Okay, let's end here. This very candid video about lettering and all that fun stuff with my lovely introduction of random day things. Um, and Masalama. Have a nice end of Friday if you are watching this on a Friday. Yeah, so Friday for Muslims is the chill day of the week. Not very chill when you're in Canada, but I remember when I used to tune into classes that were like um, aired from more Islamic populated places, and I would come, you know, wanting to sit in to learn something or whatever, and they'd be like, "It's Friday. We don't really do any heavy work on Friday." I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's Saturday and Sunday here." It's Saturday and Sunday where people chill here in general. Um, Inshallah, someday it will all be equal. All right. مع السلامة.